여러분 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to first of all extend my sincere appreciation to everyone for being here today, finding the time in this busy year-end season and braving the piercing cold. The packed room today speaks volumes about the level of interest and expectation, both at home and abroad, regarding Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy. President Yoon Suk-yeol unveiled key elements of the strategy at the ASEAN ROK summit in November. This strategy was formally released this morning by the presidential office. It took 7 months of intensive, tireless, and focused efforts to produce the final report on Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy. The Foreign Ministry Indo-Pacific Task Force was at the forefront of the whole process, but it was also a collective effort that involved all relevant government ministries and agencies. It also involved our partners and friends in the region, the business communities, think tanks, and experts. It is my great privilege to present to you today the Indo-Pacific strategy of the government of the Republic of Korea. After the Korean War, Korea's per capita income was less than $70 in 1953. This year, Korea's per capita GDP exceeded $33,000, slightly down from last year. This nearly 500-fold increase represents phenomenal growth that has been achieved in the 70 years since the Korean War. Back then, Korea was a developing nation, wrestling with multiple challenges as it strived to modernize Korean economy. Korea was also still struggling to move toward a democratic society. Today, Korea is a vastly different nation. Korea is now one of the most innovative nations in the world, a fact to which the Bloomberg Innovation Index attests. It has become a pace setter in cutting-edge industries, having, among others, the second largest share of the global semiconductor market. Korea is now the world's 10th largest economy and is also a dynamic and leading democracy in Asia. As the international community holds Korea to higher standards, it is high time that we redefine our international role and responsibility, commensurate with our heightened international stature. It is against this backdrop that the newly inaugurated Korean government under the presidency of Yoon Suk-yeol proposed the Global Pivotal State Initiative as Korea's foreign policy vision. Korea aspires to become a global pivotal state, or GPS in short, that contributes to freedom, peace, and prosperity around the world. The Indo-Pacific strategy that we unveiled today is founded upon and guided by our GPS initiative. We will strengthen our ties with our partners and friends in the Indo-Pacific region and beyond, as we shoulder a bigger role to tackle regional as well as global challenges. The aim is to realize our own GPS initiative here in the Indo-Pacific region. Without a doubt, we are living in an era of burgeoning Indo-Pacific, home to 65% of the world population, 62% of the world's GDP and 46% of international trade. The Indo-Pacific is an economically and technologically powerful region already. As an open trading nation, Korea has a vital stake in a stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific. The region accounts for 78% and 67% of Korea's total exports and imports, respectively. In addition, the majority of its top 20 trading partners are located in the Indo-Pacific area. 66% of Korea's foreign direct investment flows to this region. Moreover, the Indo-Pacific is home to many key strategic shipping routes, one of which is South China Sea, through which 64% of our crude oil and 46% of our natural gas is transported. However, recently, there has been a rise in a combination of challenges that threaten a free, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. The stability of the regional order is being increasingly eroded by uncertainties in the security environment. There are growing concerns about democratic backsliding and challenges to universal values, such as freedom, the rule of law, and human rights. Geopolitical competition involving diplomacy and security, economy and technology, and values and norms have stalled the drive for cooperation among Indo-Pacific nations. The international free trade order has long been underpinned the prosperity of the Indo-Pacific region. Today, it is being reshaped into an economic order where commercial considerations often take a backseat to security concerns. Given these circumstances, Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy envisions building a multi-layered and comprehensive network of partnerships to counter challenges to freedom, peace, and prosperity in the region. First of all, the Republic of Korea supports a free Indo-Pacific. We will uphold international norms and strengthen a rules-based order built on universal values, including freedom, democracy, the rule of law, and human rights. In solidarity with nations sharing these universal values, we will actively promote and strengthen a regional order that is shaped by rules and universal values. We oppose unilateral changes to the status quo by force and pursue a harmonious regional order where nations' rights are respected, where our shared interests are actively exploited. Second, we will exert active efforts to resolve disputes and prevent armed conflicts based on rules and ensure that the principle of peaceful resolution through dialogue is respected. We will bolster comprehensive partnerships that encompass traditional and non-traditional security domains. These include the North Korea nuclear issue, non-proliferation, counter-terrorism, maritime security, cybersecurity, and public health. Third, we will work towards a prosperous Indo-Pacific for all. Regional prosperity can be achieved when individuals, businesses, and nations engage in economic activities freely in a stable environment. We will also contribute to building an open and fair economic order. We will secure growth engines by enhancing the connectivity and complementarity of trade and investment networks and work together to build a collaborative and inclusive economic, and technological ecosystems. Distinguished guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, there are three principles of cooperation that will guide us in implementing our Indo-Pacific strategy, namely inclusiveness, trust, and reciprocity. First, our inclusive Indo-Pacific strategy neither targets nor excludes any specific nation. We will work with every partner that is aligned with our vision and principles of cooperation. We remain open to nations both in the Indo-Pacific region and beyond as we work to achieve the objective of a free, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Second, our partnerships will be based on strong mutual trust. Trust is an integral part of how nations address a range of regional and global challenges together and in a sustainable way. By firmly adhering to principles and norms, we will be a trusted partner for Indo-Pacific nations and the world. Third, recognizing that the most sustainable and effective engagements are those that befit all parties, we seek mutually beneficial cooperation. We will share our experience of economic development and democratization and tap into our unique technological and cultural strengths to provide practical benefits to our partners. In sum, through our Indo-Pacific strategy, Korea is committed to exploring a new agenda and playing a leading role in setting the agenda in the region and the wider world to build a free, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. We also stand ready to take the initiative in areas where Korean leadership can bring about meaningful change and contribute to the resolution of the issue at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcement of Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy marks a watershed moment in Korea's foreign policy in several ways. First, since the division of the Korean Peninsula right after our independence, the most important and abiding issue has been dealing with North Korea. As a consequence, foreign policy issues that have a direct bearing on the Korean Peninsula have always taken precedence over other regional and global issues. This was naturally understandable during the days of the Cold War and when Korea's weight in international affairs had been marginal. However, as Korea joined the ranks of advanced nations, it has become increasingly untenable for Korea to remain predominantly focused on Korean Peninsula-related issues and our immediate neighborhood. With the announcement of the Indo-Pacific strategy, Korea will henceforth set our strategic horizons above and beyond the Korean Peninsula. We will broaden our diplomatic outreach in ways that befit our growing international stature and measure up to the expectations of the global community. We will, of course, continue to do our utmost to achieve the complete denuclearization of North Korea and bring lasting peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula. However, in parallel with our diplomatic efforts on the Korean Peninsula, we will also work with our friends and partners to tackle challenges common to the Indo-Pacific region so as to realize our vision of a free, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Our strategy for this Indo-Pacific region is our nation's first ever comprehensive regional strategy. It encompasses the North Pacific, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Oceania, and the African Indian Ocean coast. Europe and Latin America are also key partners in advancing our common goal in the Indo-Pacific. The announcement today of our Indo-Pacific strategy marks a new chapter in Korean diplomacy, hailing a new era of proactive Korean diplomacy in regional and global affairs. You can regard this as the foreign policy doctrine of the Yoon Suk-yeol government. The Yoon Suk-yeol doctrine, if you will. Second, the Indo-Pacific strategy marks the first time ever that Korea is expressly incorporating the promotion and protection of universal values as a critical element of its foreign policy strategy. As a nation that underwent long struggles and immense sacrifices to defend freedom and to achieve democracy, Korea is well positioned to appreciate, as well as any other, the importance of international solidarity in safeguarding universal values. The free and democratic Korea that we are today would not have been possible without the international community's support for us when our democracy and human rights were under assault. Moreover, Korea will work together with our friends and partners in and outside the region to uphold and strengthen the rules-based international order. Korea is opposed to the use of force to settle disputes. Rather, disputes should be settled through dialogue based on universally accepted international norms and regulations. This has been a long cherished tradition of Korean diplomacy. Third, as a country having gone from being among the world's poorest country to an OECD donor country, Korea stands ready to help meet the aspirations of others in the region to achieve national development and economic growth. As a country that once was ravaged by war, we can readily identify with the ordeals of other countries. This is why the war in Ukraine is not some distant conflict for Korea. We will continue to provide humanitarian assistance and participate in reconstruction efforts to end the war and to restore peace in Ukraine. Indeed, 13 of our 27 priority development cooperation partners are located in the Indo-Pacific. We will provide customized assistance based on the on-site demand of partner countries and increase cooperation in areas where our strength lies, namely health, climate, and the environment. We will also promote the implementation of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, by strengthening assistance in education, agriculture, health, electrical energy, and climate change response. The recently passed government budget attests to Korea's commitment to becoming a global pivotal state. Despite huge fiscal pressures, there is a 27% increase in our financial contribution to international organizations and an 18% rise in our ODA budget. We will continue to expand our ODA volume to reach the world's top 10 level. Formulating a comprehensive Indo-Pacific strategy that accurately reflects our diplomatic vision and embodies all essential elements is indeed quite a challenging task. However, what is even more important is its actual implementation. We have identified 9 priority areas in our Indo-Pacific strategy. First, building a regional rules-based order. This includes comprehensive cooperation on wide-ranging global issues with countries that share our vision. By doing so, Korea aims to serve as a hub for cooperation networks in the Indo-Pacific. Second, promoting rule of law and human rights. Both have been key to Korea's democratization and economic development, and we will remain committed to promoting these values in the region. Third, strengthening non-proliferation and counter-terrorism efforts. Key elements include ensuring that UN Security Council sanctions against North Korea are fully implemented and actively contributing to strengthening non-proliferation norms in the region. Fourth, expanding comprehensive security cooperation, strengthening cooperation on maritime security as well as in cyber, health, and other non-traditional domains will be central to this effect. Fifth, forging economic security networks. The aim is to ensure stable and resilient supply chain management while promoting free trade and a rules-based economic order in the Indo-Pacific. Sixth, strengthening cooperation in science and technology and closing the digital gap. Korea will facilitate regional cooperation in semiconductors, artificial intelligence, quantum science, advanced biology, next generation telecommunications, and space, among others. Seventh, leading cooperation on climate change and energy security. This includes strengthening cooperation on clean energy to achieve decarbonization, as well as on the hydrogen economy, as well as deepening collaboration to stabilize the region's energy market. Eighth, engaging in tailored development cooperation partnerships. We will work together, not only with partner governments, but also with international organizations, businesses, academia, civil societies, and other private sector partners. Lastly, promoting mutual understanding and exchanges. This applies to future generations who form the bedrock of healthy and mature relations. Through cultural exchanges, we will better connect youth and cultivate shared historical awareness in the Indo-Pacific region. A free and peaceful and prosperous Indo-Pacific is essential for the future of the global community. Aspiring to become a global pivotal state, the ROK is willing and able to contribute more and take on a bigger role. I sincerely look forward to working closely with all our friends and partners in and outside of the Indo-Pacific region in identifying the common projects that we could collaborate in the 9 priority areas and reap tangible results together. Thank you once again for honoring this occasion with your valuable presence today. I wish everyone happy holidays. Thank you. 감사합니다.